topic of discussion is testimonies. Are they being given to praise men of God and not God? So is God being replaced by people giving testimonies to praise men of God?
Testimonies being given to praise men and not God. Do we have a scenario? Do we have something where this complaint coming from? All right. We do have something. All right, put that on the screen, gentlemen, and let's take a quick reading on it. So Wisdom Zulu, in his wisdom, see what I did there? This is like, he goes, testimony time. In more charismatic ministries was designed to make the pastor and his altar look powerful. It is never about Jesus Christ. It is about after I met a pastor or after I saw the seed on his altar. It is basically church marketing. Do you agree with Bro Wisdom there?
I don't agree.
Okay.
I don't agree. Testimonies are testimonies. You know, that's the result of what you have been passing through, and you take it to the Lord, and then God does the work for you. Is it a battle? Is it a sickness? Is it a poverty?
I think it doesn't have the issue with the actual testimony.
Okay.
I think the issue here is saying, when I met Apostle,
Right.
okay, my life changed.
Okay.
My life became better, you know. Or when I saw the seed in the church, you've heard this, then all of a sudden I got a car. That's what he has a problem with.
And then they say, Papa, thank you, and not saying thank you to God. They're more like giving
I
thanks
think
to the
he's
man of God.
applying things. He's confused. God will never come to work and give you anything that you think about God.
Okay.
God always has sent men and women of God. That's how he operates. Okay. You just have to meet a man of God. David met Abiathar. Abiathar, you know, remember when David was being chased by the Amalekites, okay? They got everything, their wives, their children, their wealthy, and then the soldiers wanted to kill David. We are going to kill you. You told us to go to that mountain and see our enemy has attacked our village, okay? And then he met Abiathar, and Abiathar said, go and pursue, go and overtake. God said, follow them, and you are going to recover all. He's a man, okay? Elijah is a man, according to James 1 verse number 17, the Bible says Elijah was a man like you. He stopped the rains for 3 years. So how crazy are you not to say thank you to a man of God? How crazy are you not to give an offering?
So it's okay to make reference to a man of God?
It's fine.
Like directly to God?
It's very much okay.
I can tell you that you cannot just come and say, no, the testimonies that people give, probably they just exhort the man of God. A man of God will be exalted because Christ in him is exalted. You cannot separate. You can't put the difference.
Okay.
Because if I go out there in the market, I perform miracles, they will actually talk about Apostle Njenje. That's what will go viral. Then now people will be finding out what power was he using.
Of course.
The name will go out there, and people shouldn't be jealous because of how it is coming out. And you see, even in his posting, in the first place, he says they are just there to exalt their altars. He's not actually recognizing the altar as the altar of God. He says these are the altars of men of God. He has a problem with men of God, and probably may have a direct reference where this message was going. Probably is differed with one pastor or something, and is not happy that the church keep on flourishing.
So many scenarios.
People are getting in, so he has an issue. He knew exactly where the message was going.
Okay.
It could be that he differed with a neighborhood pastor or somewhere, or maybe the madam goes to that particular church. So sorry, I can only insinuate, because this is a very dangerous message.
It is.
And I pray that it did not influence as many people as it could. But if it did, I would encourage people to distance from it, especially the Christian family, because it is meant to disobey the clergy.
Okay. See, today they're on the same page, these two. Yeah.
Shockingly.
Shockingly, yes, Diana. Are you on the same page with the two?
It's 50-50 for me.
Well, let's hear
To
it.
start with, I understand where he's coming from.
Yeah.
So what he means in his statement is, first of all, there's nothing wrong with giving a testimony, right? And saying, ever since I met this person. But where he's coming from in his message is he's saying people now forget about God, and they sort of begin to idolize these men of God. They forget to say it's the power of God working in them, and they make this man of God an idol, such that they separate this man of God and they separate the power of God working in him. Because Christ has said, I have given you what? The power and authority. So certain people will forget to say it is God's power working in this man. He's a servant of God. But they worship him as a man and not praising him to say, this man has helped me like this because the power of God is working in him.
Okay.
On the other end, there's nothing wrong with someone saying, ever since I encountered Apostle Njenje, my life has changed like this. Because I mean, we have encounters with God because of man sometimes. God is going to send a man to come and save you, the same way that God will send destiny helpers. So if maybe I'm your destiny helper and you meet me, I help you, and you're like, oh, you've really saved my life. There's nothing wrong with you appreciating me to say, ever since I met Diana, I've seen the hand of God in my life.
Yeah.
So it's different like that. There's nothing wrong with appreciating men of God, but I think where wisdom is coming from, where it becomes a problem, is where you now begin to worship the man of God as a human being. You begin to worship.
His statement is quite clear. He's against his English. It's about, I met a pastor. And most people start their testimonies like that. Oh, I came to your church and my life was a mess.
Yes.
And when I met the woman of God, my life has become, it's very common. Even I have said it quite a number of times, where I meet certain people in my life and then I'll testify to the goodness of God. When I met you, something changed in me. I don't think I was really praising the person that was him. I was actually praising the spirit of what is in him that changed my situation.
Yeah.
For me, totally disagree with the guy. Like,
I think, because I love the example that you've given, and that is very true.
Yeah.
But if you look at our setup now, Waddy, we have a lot of people that are gullible as compared to people that are cautious of the word of God and people that understand the word of God. So people who are gullible are the ones I'm saying that, of course, they'll give their testimony, but they'll slowly start forgetting about God to say, where is his source of power? It's coming from God.
Yeah.
They'll begin to now worship that man of God. And sadly, there's people now that will put themselves in a situation where they feel their life can only be better if they're only attached to this man of God. It can't be better outside this man of God. So there are certain instances where your life is connected to certain altars. That I agree.
Yeah.
But there are certain times where certain people are seasonal. They only meet you for a season, and when their time is done, you move on to another season. So people who are gullible won't understand that certain connections are just seasonal.
Okay.
Those are times where you see them, they can't do anything without consulting this man of God. Any decision to do with marriage, I need to consult man of God. They won't say, let me consult God. No. They'll say, I need to call Pastor Watt. So those are times where, even when these pastors haven't heard from God, they'll just be forced to give you an answer from their flesh, from their own mind, and not as God speaks.